What's up, tea drinkers? Who's ready to spill? Welcome to The Tea with KG, hosted by your girl, Kaylee Grace. Here you'll find your weekly boost of real talk mixed with laughter, healing, and all of those vulnerable, messy moments in between. The Tea with KG is a safe space for you to show up exactly as you are. We are here to share real-life stories from around the globe and be a community of love, joy, and celebrating life. This is a real deal show, so there will be coarse language and sensitive topics discussed. The most beautiful stories oftentimes emerge from the darkest of places, and we're here to explore it all. There's room for everyone at this tea time, so grab your drink of choice, spark it up, or just relax and soak it up. Cheers, and let's spill. What's up, tea drinkers? We are back with another episode of the Tea with KG, and we have a beautiful soul sister guest with us today. I am honored and so excited to introduce you all to the beautiful Erica Lopez, tuning in from California. We are so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm just absolutely honored. It is such a pleasure to be here for you, for the collective, for the audience, for everyone, because I know that the souls who need it most will be drawn here. Absolutely.
I just got goosebumps. That's confirmation. That's true. Amazing. So we'll just start with the who are you and what do you do?
Okay, well, my name is Erica, as she said, and I am a psychic medium, oracle, and prophetess, which means basically I'm a seer, I'm an oracle. I commune with spirit, the higher dimensions, and I'm a conduit for channeling messages that need to be brought out to whoever needs it, to the collective. And I have a YouTube platform, Gypsy Cowgirl Tarot. Go check it out.
Yes, and her Instagram, also the same.
Yep. I started my channel back this summer, 2021. We'll get into that in a minute, but that's what I do for a living. So
That's amazing. Amazing. And just a little backstory. Erica and I, we've never actually met in person, but I feel like we have. Like we're definitely connected.
oh, totally.
Like 100%. We connected through social media and we were both doing network marketing. I was doing Monate and she was doing Arbonne, and we were like, heck yeah, let's support each other. But we just clicked. Like it was just one of those natural connections. And sometimes people are like, but you've never met. I'm like, you don't need that to know when you connect like that with someone, when it's like a soul connection. It's just, you feel it. And it's
Isn't
so funny.
It's like that with like friendships and your soul tribe, but it's like that with your soulmate, your twin flame. The instant soul recognition that we receive is beautiful. So
Yes, absolutely. And just to attest further to her gifts, this is just a funny story. You might not remember that I remember this, but I think it was the first time we like had a video chat with each other. And I don't
uh-huh.
know how the month of May came up and birthdays and stuff. And immediately you're like, your birthday's May 11th, which it is. And I think it's your parents' anniversary too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So weird. Now I never forgot that story. I was just like, oh my God. I was like, it
Uh,
is.
I vaguely remember that. I mean, I'm remembering it now that you brought it up, but yeah, I remember it. And I remember, and it's just like, it's so funny because that's kind of how it is like you just see something and you have to like just immediately just blah, otherwise
Yeah.
you start second guessing and all that. But that's so funny. I love that.
Absolutely. I love that you just said that too, how when you feel something in your intuition and your gut, just go with it or just say it. It's, oh, I see kitty or puppy. Kitty.
That's puppy. Listen, he over here, Sage, but he's sleeping.
I love him. He's so cute. But I was saying like when you do like give yourself that second, sometimes you do second guess, and I'm guilty of it. I'm sure many people listening are. So again, confirmation from the psychic. When you feel that, go with it.
Absolutely. It's that little, as we call it like the non-magic folk, the muggles, the term, right? Which everyone, I just want to say that every single person has the capability to tap into energy and to their spiritual gifts and their spiritual side and all the things, right? But But it's just funny the stuff that we pick up on as opposed to the muggles. And I know that we look like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs to the outside. Totally fine with that.
Yes, girl, I'm here for it. So I guess we'll get your story. So, like, how did you get to where you are? Because, girl, I know you've got a story for us, and we love this is a safe space, so share away.
um, well, let's see here. Where do I want to begin? So, I guess I'll kind of start with like adulthood. I like just like really quickly, I kind of was born in San Jose, California, spent like my, my adolescent years, basically till I was about a freshman. My parents moved out to little Central Valley, California, where it's all farming and agriculture, dairies. It's like almond orchards and walnuts and all the things. And I fudging hated it. Sorry.
You can say fuck. We swear on here all the time, so let her rip.
Okay, give me 1 second. 1 second. Puppy is
Yep.
wanting apples. There's like good things going on downstairs and dinner and all kinds of fun stuff. So, so an interview is like, on the back burner for him. But I hated it when we moved out here. I mean, granted, I thought it was beautiful, but at that time, it's so funny because I've always felt that I was like split right down the middle. I had this very rustic country, very earth child, growing up ever since I was as much as as far back as I can remember. And then I had this like couture fashion artiste, like big city thinking, big dreaming kind of thing. So this was a very confusing stage for me when I came here. And it was like, whoa, I'm like totally seeing like both of these worlds happening. Anyways, I ended up falling in love with where we're at, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I kind of, graduated high school. I did all the normal things that everyone else does, but I have felt my gifts my entire life. I've always known certain things. I've always felt certain things. I've picked up on, very specific things from people and situations, and I mean, it's saved me more than once, and it's helped of terrible connections, relationships, friendships, to the point where like, I've heard I was hearing conversations or things being said literally like almost word for word behind my back. And then like fast forward, you find out a friend comes to you, hey, such and such said this, or they're saying this. And I'm like, I knew it.
I got goosebumps when you said that. I was like, holy shit.
But, like when you're younger, and because of the way that we are conditioned and how our third eye and the pineal gland gets calcified and all these things from trauma and all the things, right, happen, at that point, I always felt like, gosh, like, I feel like I'm like special, like different, like gifted. I know things other people don't, even at a very young age, I'm talking like 7 years old.
Wow.
6 years old.
What's an example from your childhood? Do you remember any?
I can't think of anything like specific, like as far as like a premonition goes, except for like things like that I just mentioned, as far as like friends. It started kind of happening more when I started reaching puberty. Like with boyfriends, and I just knew things. I just knew stuff, and it's not like I can read people's mind where I'm like, oh, this is like what you're thinking right this second, right word for word, thought for thought. But it's like kind of what spirit wants you to know, and whatever comes to me, But ever since a young age, I had paranormal kind of interests, and I remember being very young, and me and my cousin, she was sleeping over at our old home in San Jose, and I always felt that there was spirit there with us. And my mom is very empathic and intuitive.
Yes.
And you feel like the vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. See, and I always just felt like this, like, ooh, like there's just something like not right. Well, one time my cousin and I were having a little sleepover, and we had hardwood floors, and we were both laying or sleeping in I had a day bed, like the day beds, they have the trundle bed. So we had like this whole thing going, and I had a glass of water on the desk on the other side of the room. And in the middle of the night, we were asleep, and the cup had flown from the desk to the center of the floor and just went boom. And it was Yeah, and the water, everything was like up in the middle of the floor. I mean, I swear to you, we were both like,
Whoa.
you know, keep out of us. We were like scared. But it's something that like for me was my first like, whoa, like there's really other stuff like and it's not,
Yes.
I feel that people who are like us, who are light workers, star seeds, who are, just extremely empathic or, clairvoyant or natural born witches or whatever
Yes.
we have this like, they call it the sixth sense, right? Ever since
Mhm.
a young age, you just kind of pick up on things. You might even
Yeah.
feel like overly intelligent, like you're smarter than adults. Like you could be like young. I remember sitting around and being in situations where I was like, wow, like these adults are just, they're acting so immature. I'm like 10, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just a higher sense. So it's just, but at that time, you don't know that that's your higher self,
No,
over
no.
soul, your gifts, so I didn't really, there was one specific time that I can like recall before my big great awakening, that I was channeling, with my gifts, and I was totally drunk. Um, like I know better now. Like you don't, for me, I could never mix channeling, divination,
Right.
anything like libations, like drinking like that, or what I mean.
Yes.
Um,
100%. Because
but
doesn't it like mess with it a little bit? Like, does it
yeah,
Okay.
totally, totally. And I, to each their own. Maybe for some readers, maybe it might help them relax a little bit and tune in. I don't know. But for me, I definitely can't mix
No.
alcohol with reading. But like I said, like a little CBD or something, is
Yeah.
totally different story because that helps me connect like um, but I was in LA visiting a friend. He's a DJ down there, and
Cool.
we were at this place called the Dime LA.
The dime. That's a very magical thing for me, finding dimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, Grampy. It's my grandfather every time.
I love that. Yeah, my baby brother leaves pennies and dimes and stuff like for us and for my mom all the time and stuff. It's
I
really
love that.
them so much energy to leave those kinds of little momentums. So that's really
Mm.
special. Um, but we were all there partying, having a good time, and just something came through to me, and it was like there was this gal there that I had met, and we were just, like connected, like me and you, like we were connected,
Yeah.
like just amazing. And I just started reading her, and I was like, "Can I share some things with you that like are just like coming up for me?" And she was like, "Sure." And I'm like, I don't know why or what's happening or whatever. I was like, but like it's just I feel compelled to like share. And then it was just like boom, 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 like one thing after the next. And then next thing you know, I'm reading like her friend and then like her friend's boyfriend and like, but then it was like gone after that. Like I was like, what happened? Like that was so weird. And now I know why. It was like a kind of a clip of the future, a clip of like what's to come or whatever.
Ooh, that's so cool.
It's a trip. It really is. And what intrigues me is other psychics, other mediums, their stories. Because some people are born very, very wide open. That's why, you'll have children who are very, they'll see spirits and ghosts and things of that nature. My selenite falls right as I'm saying.
Selenite that I love. It's so powerful. Like, it's so
But,
good.
mhm. Yeah, I suggest like everyone have selenite like everywhere around them.
Yes.
I, I have to have it on my lap with me at like all times if I'm reading, channeling, or sharing or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, really good for connecting and stuff like that too.
Yeah. For me, when I hold it, it feels so much stronger than like I love my crystals. They all have a special place. I don't pick favorites, but my selenite, it's just like I feel it I feel it in my body. Like
It's a
it's
vibration.
wild.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
vibration. I love that. What other crystals do you connect to really deeply?
I rose quartz, of course. I love celestite, um, citron. I love like the happy kind of lovey,
You are
calming.
one of the first people, like besides myself, that has said celestite as one of your favorites. I love.
Yes. It's so gorgeous and it's just the blue and I don't know if it's because I love the ocean so but I don't know why, but I just love it. Yes. I was like, mine's in my room. I'm like, I want to go get it.
Yeah, it's that really serene. You know why? Because me as well, I'm a Libra sun. Taurus is my north node. It's my true
Yes.
north destiny. So that's why we connect, girl. Um,
Yes.
I'm flighty in that way where, like I always say I'm the most grounded bubble you'll ever meet because I'm very grounded, but like my little whatevers are like do all the time.
Yes.
So like Celeste and that are like my homies for sure.
Homies, I like that. Our crystal homies.
They are. They're my little rock stars.
Yeah.
So now I totally forget like what I was even saying. But
Oh, it was about the story when you were at the club in LA and you were reading, and it was like a clip almost
oh
into
yeah,
the
yes, yeah.
future.
So, so that was like the moment that I was kind of like, okay, like this is kind of confirmation that I'm not crazy. Stuff that's kind of happened and like things I've kind of always known and picked up on and felt. And everyone has this. I'm sure everyone watching this can relate. We've all had moments that you're in the car and all of a sudden you're listening to the radio and then you think of a song and boom, that song comes on right after.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. That's your gifts. That's your higher self and your all of that, so and all of that can be exercised just like any other muscle, in the body. I in a tarot book that I have, the author or someone had quoted something along the lines of that spiritual gifts are the same as like vocals, Mariah Carey, versus a Britney Spears, or I love them both, but their vocals are much different, right?
Yes.
And as far as professional athletes and there's people who are just naturally born gifted, athletes, NFL players, basketball players, and then there's people that really have to practice and work at it. And
Yes.
spiritual gifts can be the same way. So some people are born very tapped in and tuned in and all of that. And I'm no expert. I don't know how this all works, still, right? But there's those of us who always felt it and knew it and have like had certain things, but it was your awakening that brought forth your like the flare of your gifts.
Yes.
And there's different things usually, that it's usually traumatic experiences, things that just keep happening. We call them the tower in the tarot, the tower.
The tower moments. Yes.
Yeah, it's when lightning strikes, it comes in to blow apart your foundation. And
Hmm.
the thing is that it's not it's scary in the fact that it's forcing you to change and move and grow and expand, which is, oh, that's scary, right? No one wants to do that.
Hmm. Oh,
uh,
it's so scary because it's like, it's so unknown, and the fear, and there's all these things. You're like, what's going on right now? Like, totally get you, girl.
yeah. And we naturally just want to stay where it's safe, right? Because we've been taught since a young age the world is a scary place. You've got to do this. There's all this conditioning and all these things, right? So
Hmm.
from the time we walk that to be in fear and all these things. So that's what we cling to. That's what our ego naturally wants us to stay in the past.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God, yes. Ego loves to keep you safe. Ego, like, I was speaking on this. I don't remember. I was like, I don't know if it was in real life or I did it on an episode already, but it's funny you say that because it's always ego that's just keeping you, because it thinks you're in danger and you're not. Like, especially you're mentioning going through trauma and stuff. And even in my own personal life, having gone through some crazy things, it's when you're healing from that, sometimes it takes, it's never linear. It's yes, healing is not linear. I was going to say it's never like this. It's always like this. You might have, a step forward, step back. But sometimes when I've been fighting or resisting change or whatever it may be, I know it's because my ego is trying to keep me secure and safe. But I'm like, honey, it's okay. Let's go. Like, let's do this.
Yeah. So when the tower hits, the tower comes in, and it's those moments that you have no choice.
Yes.
That's They take away your choice, and
Hmm.
then you're just pushed off the cliff
Yes.
with no parachute.
Nope.
So really, we have the option, right, in life where we can like walk along with the universe. It's like walking a dog, or it's like being drugged down the sidewalk trying to, like
Yeah.
they're just like, no. And essentially for our awakening, our ascension and all that. So anyways, I want to grab, because there's like things that are popping in that like I want to like go back to, and I don't want to forget them.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
but if there's anything else right now that like you kind of want me to ask, oh, I guess I still haven't like finished my story, huh?
This is how we do it. This is literally like I'm Ramble McGee. I start in one place and I tell you 5 stories in the process of telling one. So I'm here for this. This is beautiful and natural, and that's the way we like it here.
Okay. So one thing that I heard really loud and specifically from spirit was quantum healing.
Quantum healing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right when you said you were talking about healing not being linear.
Mm.
So we'll talk about that too. But I just wanted a piece of paper. So like as things come,
Yeah. I love that. Just so everyone knows, Erica is just channeling things as they come. So anything she channels, she's going to share with us. So it's really beautiful. And whoever is tuning in, you're very lucky to be here, because anything that comes through for her, it's meant for this collective, like
yeah,
whoever's tuning in. Yeah.
yeah,
So we're very blessed to have her with us. So yeah, if you hear things that resonate, you're here for a reason.
yeah, absolutely. And that's what it is. It's like the same thing when you tune into my channel or any other, reader, on YouTube who's tapped in that way. It's gonna when That's why we say, like when it does help our channel grow. And of course, I want my channel to grow because I want to reach as many fucking
Yeah.
people as I can.
Yes.
But every time you hit that like button, and I'm not saying do this for everybody, but those readers that you really connect with, and you're like, this is someone who is really of the light, or this is someone who, needs to be out there, you're helping them grow. So those of you who do subscribe, thank you in advance. But it also literally ties your energy into their channel. So when we do pull collective readings, like even though it's collective, it helps with your situation.
Mm.
We might say something very specific that might be only for you and for not
Yeah.
out there. And you're like, holy shit, there's no way. Like, you know, and it's like,
Yes.
that's why, because we're picking up on that energy. So this is the same thing. And I just wanted to explain that. So thank you, Kaylee, for bringing.
Yeah. Of course. I wanted to ask you too. I'm sorry, it
Yeah.
just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Like when like for instance, because you and I know each other, does that have any impact on if you're channeling for collective? I'm just gonna say, like, am I always tied in, or is it only sometimes? Like, how does that work, or is it random? I don't
That's a
know.
really good question, because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering that. It's totally different. It's totally
Yeah.
different. So the universe knows best, right? The universe
Yes.
knows best. So when I sit down to pull cards and I'm going to do a collective read, the universe already knows, because time is an illusion. So everything is
Mhm.
happening simultaneously all at once, and the universe knows this. And it's really hard for us to wrap our little tiny brains around. So they already know when I sit down to pull a reading, who's going to see that reading in the present moment, in the past, who's already seen it, and who will see it for the rest of the future and in all eternity until my channel's gone or whatever.
That's so
Right?
cool.
So it'll connect. So if it's a message, that comes through, that it's like very strongly that like there's a lot of Kayleys out there that are going through almost the same exact kind of situation, and the universe really, there's some reason they want it to like come through, they will push that message through. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
readers, there's, people will talk about manipulating cards. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Okay. And energy is energy, right? So energy can be manipulated. Okay. And when they call it manipulating cards, when like readers will really put the energy into the message that they specifically are wanting to bring out.
Oh,
Is that
okay. I get you. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
so you have to just really use your discernment, with what you watch on YouTube and things like that, readers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, when I was very first drawn to the tarot, which I love the tarot my whole life, ever since I
Yes.
was girl. I like wanted to learn the tarot, but I didn't learn the tarot until literally a year ago. Um, so we'll get into all that, a little bit after this. But okay, you're gonna have to keep looping me back around, honey, because when I start conversating and channeling, I like my mind goes all over the place.
I feel like that's my brain every day, so I'm here for it. We're good.
It is. Readers on YouTube. So when I started watching, readers, I was just noticing like the different energies. Just even me, like being really new to it all and stuff. I was picking up the different energies from different readers, and I was like, wow, like this reader feels really light and good, and the energy here feels clean and like sweet and kind. And then like on this reader is like talking about STDs and this and that, and like,
What?
which I have nothing against any of that, because sometimes that has come through in my readings where it's like someone sleeping around and if we're talking about like karmic stuff. But it's like it's just the energy of it. And for me that shows the level of healing that the readers have gone through, and how much and shadow they still have in them. And you can also see it through the comment section on their channel. If you see a lot of negatives, naysayers, negative Nellies, people who are especially attacking the reader, we all will get them, but that just kind of shows like your vibe attracts your tribe. I'm just going to say that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you guys just be careful. That's the message here, is be careful, because I always try to look out for the collective in the way that, anytime you interact with energy, it's going to leave that residue with you. Right. So even watching readers on YouTube or anything, you just have to make sure you protect yourself and all that. So anyway.
That's really true, because you're saying that. And before you started your channel, I was watching all these different readers, just like, I just want to see what was out there, because I love it too. And, once you started your channel, like, okay, I'm Gypsy Cowgirl, I'm listening to you. But in that process, you're saying things about the different energies of the readers, and it's really true, because I've watched some and I do not jive with them at all. Just like how they were speaking, like you said, and the certain things. It was the energy for sure, but I like that you said that, because it kind of makes me feel like, okay, you're not wrong in not being drawn to that particular channel.
Totally. And especially like the lighter, the higher in frequency you are, like your light shines, so it really just doesn't sit well with us. It irritates it. It's that
It's a yucky. It's like,
oh, this is not
It's like a gross feeling for me. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, no, thank you.
It makes me so sad, because I a couple months back I was offering tarot lessons, and it's something I'm going to do like periodically and here and there, for the collective, because so many people are going through their awakening, and so many people are their spiritual gifts are coming through so strongly, and it's so beautiful, and I'm so happy. But so many people are being drawn to pick up the tarot, to pick, just to get into divination, and because they are meant to bring forth messages, right? And we just keep growing and growing and growing. But I really, in my lessons, I like to hone in on the history of the tarot, and how it's an art form, and how it's something to be respected.
Yes.
And I feel
yes.
And feel that, and it is so fucking intricate. The layers, how deep you can go with it is insane. And it's not a toy. And
no,
I've seen so many readers, YouTube, TikTok, it's like a thing now, where it's like they just pick it up. And I have nothing against people picking up the tarot and learning very quickly, because I did. I was self-taught. I learned it very quickly. I've always, been into it, but like I just, when I went and decided to go, I went. And that's awesome when people can do that. And whatever, it's awesome anytime anyone does anything with the tarot. But I feel that people just start pumping out readings and they don't know anything about the cards. They don't know anything about the author. They don't know anything about the artistry. They don't know anything about
Mm.
coloring means. They don't know anything about what the shapes behind it mean, or how important the numerologies can be, or the
Oh,
astrology,
yes. I
or
love the numbers. Number magic speaks to me all day, every day. And when you put the numbers out there and you're like, and this is this, and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Because sometimes
yeah,
I'll do that with like a multiple number. I'll bring it back down to what the original number is, and people are like, what do you mean? How are you getting that? I'm like, it's
yeah,
just natural.
yeah. This breaks down to, and they're like, how breaks down. How do you, what do you break it? And I'm like, okay, let me break it down for you. So, yeah, but, and it's funny because I'm not a math person. Like,
No, me neither. It's
if,
weird because I don't like it, but the numbers like me.
and that, like in school, like I hated math, but like with numerologies and this, like I am zippy. Like I can add up like numbers and get like the breakdown of the whole and be like, oh, this is what it's crazy. But you know what it is? That's alignment. That's
Yes.
alignment.
And you do it so quick. I've heard you do it. It's so good. You're like, and this is 16 and this is it. And it's just so good.
I have goofed a few times, and I've like added up, like I've like said like, oh, this equals 11 when it was really 13 or something. But I will say, anytime I do anything, it is for a reason. So even when I goof, because like I remember in that reading specifically, it was like not that long ago, one of the subscribers commented, they're like, you're so cute, LOL, but it's actually 13, and I was like, oh my god, that's so funny, and I was like, well, LOL, I was like, that still makes sense because 13 is the death card, and this is what I was talking about, da, 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 and it was still like the whole
Still
thing was,
connected.
yeah, I was like, so but yeah, so the art form of it, and having that respect for it, because it's really beautiful, and it's something that has been around for literally thousands of years. They I mean, there's no specific like factual facts of when it was originated or where it specifically came from, but obviously it it originated in Europe, and it became really big around um, the Renaissance era, when
Okay, cool.
because it was always used as like I actually did a tarot lesson earlier today, and I was explaining this to her, and I'll grab one of my tea leaf oracle decks or things right now to show, but like it was basically just like a picture. It was just a picture, so it'd be a picture of like a boot, or a picture of a cat, or a picture of a dog, or a picture of a house, right? So it started out as like a game, okay, like go fish or something very simple like that, right, back in the day.
Hmm.
And then it but the OGs were using it for divination way back.
Yeah.
Okay. That's,
They knew.
that's just um but society, as it was growing, it started turning into that, where it was being more recognized as, we can actually use this to tap in and receive messages and expand our consciousness, and ooh, we have intuition, and oh, so
Magic.
exactly. And then around the and I don't know like everything. I'm not an expert. This is just what I've know. This is like with the basics of what I teach in my classes, and what I kind of go through and all that. But it's the Renaissance, where it became very almost fashionable to be risque, right?
Right.
That's when all everything, sexual, your sexual,
Yeah.
the makeup, and the wigs, and the beauty marks, and the red, and the bustiers, and the breasts, and the
Mm.
feathers, and it was all very
Yes.
becoming almost sexy to be able to, read or to do these things. And but anyways, that's for my understanding when it started getting really big, and people started picking it up not just as a game now, cardmancy at a party, but now it's something that we're actually going to be using to tap into our own gifts. So
Cool.
yeah, and then it just evolved from there, and kind of blah 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 blah, and then like around, I think it's 1909 is when Rider Waite Smith created his version, and that's like
Wow.
blew up. Yeah.
That's so cool. I never knew the history behind tarot and the like cards. That's really cool. Anyone else listening who likes us is going to find this very interesting.
I'm like I'm like all over the place with what I'm talking about tonight.
Oh my
But
God, this is how we do it, girl. This is what we're here for. This literally, they listen to me do this every single time. So it's all good.
all right, okay.
Um, so you were saying about like your breakthrough like into tarot, because I remember when you started your channel, I was so excited. I was like, because I always knew you were magical, and I was just like, in my soul, I was like, this is what she's supposed to do. Like, because
Mm,
you're just such a beautiful light anyway, just even how you sound, like hearing your voice, it's just a beautiful tone to it. And
thank
it's
you.
pure. No, it's true. It's pure, and like you feel that. And like, but you also are funny and you keep it real. Like you're the perfect little package. Like you're perfect. You are.
That's how I feel about you too, though. That's how I feel about
Oh,
you. Your voice is like
thank you.
the same way. Like there's a vibration to it. That's why I'm so happy that you're doing this. And the same
Thank you.
thing, literally, like right back at you, because I'm like, this is her light work. Like this is her born to shine. Like this is where she's gonna be sparkly. And
You're making me emotional. Thank you.
oh, you're welcome.
It's all the
So
water signs in my chart coming out.
I know. Oh, don't get me started. I have a triple Scorpio stellium.
This is how we do
We're
it.
we're deep. We're deep. You know, we're very deep, but we also don't you mess with us, right?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Um. So anyway, so but yeah. So fast forward through all that. I had gone through my spiritual awakening. I had some very tragic things happen over the past 6 years. In 2016, my like world was like rocked. And this is actually when I really knew. I mean, I knew at this point, like, you know, things that are like big, Erica. Like, that's it. That's the prophecy. That's the prophetic part of things. Is I
Mhm.
see things, and it's not just the psychic part, but like the big things that are, like death, of losing
Yeah.
things like that. So in 2016, I had lost my grandmother. I'm the one that found her. It was May 20, or no, I'm sorry, April 2016. And then several months later is when, sorry, the dogs are barking at something.
That's okay.
Several months later, in August of 2018, I lost my baby brother in a car accident
Oh my
tragically.
God.
That was like when our family was like just rocked. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot to say trigger warning, but
No, it's okay.
um, it's I know a lot of you out there can relate to it, and it's like nothing you can ever imagine, or you cannot put it into words until you actually experience it. But that is what started my spiritual awakening, and at this point, I had just gotten myself into literally like right before a karmic connection.
Mhm.
Um, with my ex, and that was my one of my last biggest lessons. So it was like all these things hit like pow pow pow, and then I thought like, oh, this person was like brought into my life for a reason at this moment to like be my person through all this.
Yeah.
Then it ended up just being like extremely like toxic and tumultuous and like
Yeah.
bad. And and that was when that was my um that was my tower. That was my big, because I wasn't the I was meant to start moving. Yeah.
Yep.
And I was doing it. I was like, no, like I'm stubborn. I am a stubborn shithead. And yeah, yeah, I got
Preach on that, girl.
Taurus. I've got, oh yeah, but I'm not stubborn. This is me prior to awakening. I would be stubborn to a fault where it was just pure pride and ego, and I didn't care who
Yes.
as long as I would stand strong, I would even
Hmm.
hurt myself. I would stand so strong. I would watch someone I loved walk away
Yep.
and literally cry myself to sleep afterwards because of like how much I miss them. But like I was that stubborn.
Yeah. I know what you mean though, like with relationships in particular, like you're saying, I will hang on until I've tried absolutely everything, even in my karmic past
Yeah.
relationships that were very abusive and toxic and awful. And like I knew, I was like, this is not okay.
And
But for some
around
reason,
was like, what are you doing? This is
yeah,
healthy and this is wrong and da, 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 da. And you're like,
yeah.
but
Exactly. It's like for me, it's sometimes I'm sure my guardians and the universe laughs at me. They're like, "Girl, you know, why don't you get it?" Oh, is he got my dog? He's could you see him? My dog likes to make an appearance. He's the star. But it's true. Like I have to learn lessons. I don't want to say the hard way because I always believe that whatever happens happens for a reason. But sometimes, not so much now, but back then, before a lot of growth, yeah. So I feel you on that, girl. We'll loop back to your story because we will get distracted very easy.
so anyway, so I had just, I was just freshly in this karmic connection, which I already knew was not going to be good. I knew, like, but I was just whatever. You guys have all been there, I
Yep.
was consumed with the fact that I wasn't alone. I had someone to like, fall asleep with at night and like
Yeah.
did care about me and love me, even though it was not the healthiest, it was still that better than being
Yeah.
anyways, when I had told him this was June 2016, and I had kept seeing this vision. I kept getting this feeling that my brother was going to pass soon, and I kept telling him, I'm like, I know I'm gonna like something's gonna happen. I'm gonna lose him, and I know it. I know it. I know it. And of course, he's like, don't think that. Don't even say it. I'm like, I know, like it's crazy, but like I'm telling you, So what I started doing is like, you can't. What do? You don't go to someone and say like, I saw this and I think no, but you go to them and, my brother, and I'm like, listen, like, please just promise me that, like, when you go out with your friends, like, you'll wear your seatbelt, you won't drink and drive. Like, promise me you won't, like, be on your cell phone, like, when you're driving home from work or in the car. And, like, I just, started getting very, like, and then texting him all the time and telling him I loved him
Yes.
and what he was up to. And, like, really trying to, like, really and everything was fine. It was fine, like, everything was good. And then it happened on his way home from work, and
Wow.
he was like less than a mile away from home. And
Oh my God.
yeah,
I
yeah, so
keep getting goosebumps the whole time you're
um,
talking. I'm just like, ooh.
yeah, so it's crazy, the way you just are going about your life one day and then just boom, it's like, right.
Yes.
But that was what catapulted me. I mean, that was what started my awakening. And you know time was passing, and then like gradually I started getting intrigued to more of like law of attraction stuff,
Mhm.
Abraham Hicks,
Yes.
yeah, Bernstein, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, like
Mhm.
all the greats, right? And I just started throwing myself into it, and I started meditating, and I started finding peace and centering, and getting, and it's really hard for me to meditate. I actually am really bad at meditating now. I The way that I meditate now is I do like the sound bowl healing, but for
I
me to do
love the sound
it
bowl. Mhm.
and like for like in quiet, I'm like, I can't do it like right now. um but I channel light language, and that is really healing, and like that is.
Cool. What's that? What do you mean by that?
So, light language it's basically language of the cosmos, of the stars, of ours. Yeah, and there's so many different kinds of light languages. You can literally YouTube or Google light language and see
Cool.
star seeds. So, it's just something that naturally, as I started tapping into higher frequencies, it's just something that started coming through naturally, and it was like a language that I just started remembering. Um,
Perfect. That's really cool.
so if I feel called towards the end or something, I might bring a little bit through.
Yeah.
I don't
We're
know.
welcoming.
I don't know how long you want to go for.
We're just going to keep on going, girl, as long as you have.
Okay, okay. Um, but that's like my way of calming myself and like just centering and like, I actually did do a light language healing channel healing thing on my channel. I don't know, it was several months back, and it was for the heart chakra. And so it's
Ooh.
the thing is like when I'm on my channel reading and channeling out messages, it's the same thing I receive, and I just like it comes through. Um,
Cool.
it's all, I don't know, just memory.
That's
And
really cool.
yeah, it's pretty neat. But it's and what's really neat is looking up like other people like that channel it and like their videos on YouTube and stuff. And like I found like other people where their like light language sounds very similar to mine, or almost like the exact same. Like they
Cool.
it's really neat. So I have, really dear sister friends who are shamans and, things of that nature, and they will channel it. And theirs is really beautiful, but totally different. Or, so it's just another form. And I know that a lot of people watching this they probably channel it, or might resonate very deeply with it.
Yeah.
One way that, like, an example that, like, sometimes I say is like, I don't know, when you're younger, when we're younger, when we play make believe and we'll pretend to speak a different language at times, and we'll have like a fake accent even, and we'll get like all in,
Yeah.
right? But I believe that starseed lightworker children, like they are so fresh still to like their soul gifts and that aspect of them, that they will actually remember that and be speaking it. But see, everyone else around them will think it's just this gibberish mumbo jumbo, right? Um,
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting.
I remember like speaking very like clearly, and I remember like when it started coming back to me as an adult, I was like, oh my gosh, like this sounds like what I said like when I was like 5.
Yeah, I'm so intrigued right now because I know when I was a kid, huge
Yeah,
imagination. So I definitely did the accents and the different languages, but I'm like, I would need to kind of touch base with that again to have the memory come
yeah,
back. But that's
and
very interesting.
yeah, and I've had like because sometimes it'll come out like in personal readings for people or things of that nature, and or like it's come out like once or twice in like a collective reading, like very minimally. Um, but I've had people email me, and they like sent me like a recording of them, and they're like, do you think this is that? And I'm like, yes,
Oh my God.
yes, that's yes. So, and yeah, I mean, just tapping in, like you just said, and like just
Mm,
kind of being open to it, receiving it, and whatever comes through, and not allowing yourself to feel silly or shameful about,
yes.
because it sounds very different, and you move your hands, you can, I mean, there's all people do all kinds of different stuff. I get very and this is common, is even when I'm channeling, my palms will just start like perspiring, the bottoms of my
Oh,
fire, my whole body will get like really hot, flushed,
yeah.
and that's common for when I channel, but not on that level. And it's because of the power of the energy that it is.
Hmm.
I know, I feel like we're going all over the place. I think I forgot.
No, this is great. I love this. I'm like, tell me
Oh,
more. I love it.
everyone who
Um,
like, oh my gosh, this chick is a big old weirdo. No, just kidding.
no, no. If they think that, they're in the wrong place.
No, I know, right? I know. No, I think everyone's, oh my God, yes, yes, I know, yes.
Right. And it's awesome too, because I think a lot of times, like you were saying earlier, how we are conditioned. I'm sure there's numerous people listening who feel all these things, but
Yeah,
maybe we're afraid to say it based on, maybe their surroundings aren't into that, or they think that it's, oh, da da da, whatever. But,
right.
so maybe this will inspire some people too to
Yeah.
really tap in and, like, everyone listening to, go to Erica's channel and you can email her. She has all these ways you can contact and connect. You can tell them everything you do at the end because you do a million things. But I just want to say, if anyone's ever felt afraid to dabble in and, like, you know, feel it. It's okay to feel it. And when you do open up, it's like, it's so amazing. It's like, it can be challenging as well because you have to protect yourself a little harder sometimes against negative forces, but it's so beautiful because you channel in so much light, and I could talk about this for a while, but it's
Yeah.
so true.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that. And yeah, if you guys feel guided, yeah, absolutely go check out the channel. Again, it's just
Yeah.
Capital Tarot. But I do, for the most part, just, my psychic tarot readings and stuff. And but I do offer intuitive healing sessions and Akashic readings and things like that. So yeah, I'll go over that
Yeah.
towards the I'm trying to think of like what else I was thinking of, like, covering or talking about today. I was like thinking all day long, like, ooh, that'll be good. Ooh, that'll be good.
Right.
Um, oh, that's one thing you had asked about was birth charts. And
Yeah.
so I'm actually not like super like versed on birth charts, but and like all the like I don't know all the houses in the astrology birth charts by heart. I know like the gist of like what the different houses are and things of that nature. But I can tell you, because a lot of people they don't even realize that we have like a birth chart. I don't know if you've like had
Yeah.
talked about this on your podcast
Not
yet.
not yet.
So basically, our zodiac, everyone associates their zodiac mostly to their sun sign, which, is supposedly like your main, your main sign or whatever, but they're all important, right? But your sun sign,
Yes.
it's where the sun was, what zodiac sign the sun was in at the time exactly you were born, right?
Cool.
So I'm a Libra, you're a Taurus,
Taurus.
right?
Yes.
But I also have a birth chart, as does everyone else. And you can get your free birth chart literally by like Googling like free birth chart.
Google.
I don't,
Yeah. I
I can't,
recommend there's CoStar or
yes,
Cafe Zodiac. CoStar I like because there's an app, and it's just the way they've laid it out. It's a lot cleaner and it's a lot more user friendly. Like the Cafe one is good, but it's a lot more in depth. I find the chart and the way it's like, if you know your shit, yes, go look at that one too. I have
you're,
both. But
you're
the
right.
CoStar is very user friendly, very clean, very easy to read. So
Yeah,
I definitely recommend that one.
I agree with you. I have the CoStar app on my
Me
phone.
too. We need
Yeah.
to add each other on there. That would be cool
Oh
because you can
my
connect with
God.
your friends on there.
Yeah, I know. I saw that and I was like, I don't like, who am I gonna, I'm like, like
I know, right?
I'm on my actual like physical friends in like real life. I'm like,
Right? And like the reason I find birth charts so intriguing is because, like, yes, there's certain parts of Taurus. Yes, I resonate. But there is always so much more to me that I was like, I am not your typical Taurus. Like I am in some ways, but I'm not at all in any other. So once I got my birth chart, I was like, oh, there it is.
right. Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so it'll calculate, it'll ask you like your name, your date of birth and the city you were born in. And if you don't
And
have
the
like,
time. The
yeah,
time
and the
is
time
important.
you were born. Yeah. And it'll calculate it and it'll tell you like all these things, right? So like when you're watching a tarot reading, most, a tarot reader, they'll say like, this is for, Aries, sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. And then they might say, as well as the cross watcher of the Aries, right? So, cross watcher is someone who is not the Aries, but is connected to the Aries, watching for the Aries, right? So,
Hmm.
let's say your man is a Leo, right? And you're a Sagittarius, okay? Ooh, that I don't know about that combination. but if you want to go watch a reading about what's going on with him, you would go watch the Leo reading and you would be the cross watcher of the Leo, right? Okay, so I know some
Yeah.
people, what does that mean? What's cross watcher and all that? Another one I get to is what is DM and DF, right? Divine masculine, feminine. Um, but anyways, so those are the main, like your Venus sign, your rising, your moon, and your sun are like the ones that are kind of like
The
the
big
main.
four. Yeah.
So and you can literally like learn all about like what does your Venus sign mean about you, what does your moon sign say about your moon is your emotions, your Venus is like your how you love, your rising is the what the world sees, what you put
Yes.
in the world,
Your
right?
mask.
Yeah. And which is funny because I'm an Aries, and I don't know if I feel like I'm like a total Aries in that way, but I mean, I resonate
My
deeply.
rising is Cancer. So I think, yes, my emotional side may be Cancer, but like, I don't know. A lot of people think I'm an Aries when they meet me because but I have, do you realize I have no fire in my chart? Absolutely none, which is it's funny to me. I'm like, really? Because, I feel like I draw from certain things. Fire signs typically are like, the passion, the outgoingness. But yeah, no fire up in here, just air, earth, and water. My Lilith, I guess, is Leo. So my Lilith is fire,
You
but that's the
are
only
like
fire.
Libra Gemini. Like you're
What's
like
that?
a Libra
My,
Gemini Aquarius.
my Venus is Gemini, so that makes sense.
Because Geminis are very social butterfly. They're
Right.
really good at communicating. They're very, so that's what, and they're very like friendly and lovey and stuff. So that's why I was like, no, she's got either like that Libra, or that Gemini, and then the Aquarius I could see, in the way that like, your style and how you express yourself through your fashion and, all of that. That's very Aquarian, to me. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, that makes total sense. Total Gemini. Um, so let me see what else. Oh, okay. So let's talk about the whole like twin flame thing. Talk about that,
Yeah.
flames and stuff. So if you are, here, you're obviously here for a reason, and chances are that some of you guys are, you've heard of past life soulmates, you've heard of a twin flame, and they are something that I feel like not so much past life soulmates, but the whole twin flame thing. It's something that's very ancient, but it's also something that I feel to the earth right now at this time. It's something that has been almost mythical to people, and it's something that's now really has started to rise because of the ground rising, the great awakening, everything that's taking place, and the star seeds and the light workers and people who've incarnated on earth at this time, right? So there's this whole collective of twin flames that are really coming, I guess, into fruition. I want to say.
Yes.
And there's new ones, and it's just going to keep happening because that's what the whole thing is. It's this whole journey of, our individual journeys, the union of our twin soul, and then we have the separation phase, right, where we go into this healing and da 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 da, right, and then everyone always has free will, but if you're, mostly you're meant to come back into union because you guys come back into union and then you ascend together, and your light is like magnified out into the guys will conquer. And even if you don't have, it's not like you're meant to come in and like, start some business with your twin flame. That's what you're meant to do. It's like, no, as long as you guys are together, whatever your light is, their light is, whatever it is, but you guys are united as one, doing it as one together as a whole, that is what radiates out. And that is what is meant to rise or change this world and help it and heal and all that. Right.
Beautiful.
So it is really beautiful. And so that's why I was drawn to start sharing these messages on the channel for that specific collective of, the divine masculine, divine feminine, twin flame collective. And I do those messages. And for the most part, yes, it's for the twin flames, but it's also for people who are in these past life soulmate connections. And everyone, the twin flame journey has been so glorified, I feel like, and it is a really beautiful journey, but like, it is a very, very difficult journey. And
Challenging. Yeah.
I would say to anyone, like, you would want to thank your lucky stars that, your destiny in this lifetime, is to be with a past life soulmate or whatever.
I was going to say that because, like, from what I've learned is like the twin flame connection, yes, beautiful, but can be very challenging. However, a soulmate connection is much more, I'm not sure what the word is I'm looking for, but it's not like that. You might have a better word to describe what I mean, but
yeah. So the twin journey is like basically, and I mean, you can, there's no like actual facts. I mean, you can say they're factual in the way that there's been literally like thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have all gone through the same exact thing and have had the same exact things happen, and they all attest to the same exact stuff, right? So that's kind of like, okay, well, that's kind of a fact for me. But there's not like this hard fact of twin flame anything. And so it's really truly is about people's experience and the experience of the masses. Soulmates, are just people or souls that we've known in past lives, or they could even be a newer soul that we meet for the first time, that we were meant to meet in this lifetime or whatever. But the past life soulmate is such a beautiful energy, and that can come in the form of a pet, a grandparent, a sibling, a friend,
Yes.
anything.
I
Right?
believe to my core, a lot of the friendships I have are 100% past life soulmates or soul connections. Like it's just,
For sure. I've done readings for like friends that have like they're clients of mine, and then they're like, okay, well, we know that we're like soulmates, we're soul tribes, so like, can you do like past life for us, and see what comes through, and like it's really neat. And
cool.
and they've been through some stuff together or this or that, right? But it's this, but then we have these karmic soulmates, and the karmic soulmates are the ones where the karmic soulmates are the ones that start off super fucking hot and heavy. Like,
right.
but here's the thing. So does that instant soul recognition with your twin flame or whoever, right? But the karmic is in the way where that this person is a repeat of something you're not supposed to be doing again.
Yes.
And you know it.
Mm-hmm.
And you are just like, I don't care. This feels good. So for right now, it feels good.
So this is what's up.
Chances are there's this thing in the back of your mind that that at some point there's maybe just something that's not, or or very quickly after the whole I can't get enough of you, that phase dies out fairly quick, and then the little warnings start showing, the little red
flags, yes.
They start showing fairly quickly, and you're like, oh, whoa, but again, you're still in your karma too, so, right?
100%.
Sweep it under the rug until we finally get knocked over the head.
Yep, like we were saying earlier, until like that little tower moment happens.
But the twin flame journey is different in the way where, it literally, like, coming into union with this person, it triggers things within you spiritually. It triggers awakening within you. It triggers all kinds of different stuff. And there's so many different aspects to it and different things and all of that. But it's a really beautiful journey. But yeah, it's difficult. But you know what? I'm seeing more and more and more people like coming, like awakening and like coming forward, and they're like, I feel like this person is my twin flame. Like, can you clarify? Can you help me? And it's really neat how people are starting to just know. It's like this innate.
Wow.
They just know, and it's like both parties that know it, and then of course once they both feel it and kind of innately know it, then you get the person who runs, and then
all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So, but anyways, but it's a pleasure and an honor to like be able to bring these messages to the collective, and to be able to be here for people on the journey, and to bring forth anything for them, and
yes,
I'm like, this is just, it's like, it's just what I meant to do. This is what I do.
yes.
Right? So.
It totally is. And like your channel, it speaks for itself, obviously you, but I've watched it grow so fast. And I just feel like that's more confirmation that, not that you need that, you would do it no matter what those numbers said, but it is nice when that correlates. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like it's a little like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it is. And another thing is, because even though at this point, I've, in just this time, like I've read for thousands of people already. And
you have
the fact that, and I've had maybe one person who I had a little bit of pushback from on what their reading said, but I wasn't wrong.
No.
they just didn't like what came out, which okay, that's fine, free will, free will, free will. But I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not, anyways. But it's you. I'm still human, and I still have
Yeah.
my little human brain, and even though I have come so far in my journey and being able to tell apart the ego, which I still suffer with. I mean, right? I suffer with my ego. There are moments where I have to like kind of check myself or like pull myself back or like, but for the most part, I see things through the lens of love all the time.
I
Like
love that.
they do. And even people who I know just because of my light or who I am don't like me because of that, or they don't like me because of I dated someone they dated, or just stupid little things like that, right? It's like that's how I know I've ascended to such a high frequency and am in true high priestess empress energy because
I love that energy.
it is. And you know what? It's like this is not an energy that you can't fake this. You literally, like, as you rise in frequency and your light shines, I mean, you can see. Why do you think light workers have beautiful skin and it's like they start aging in reverse?
Just joking.
I'm people I know, like, it's your divinity that starts literally shining from outside and it starts coming through, and then everyone is affected by it, and it's a real thing. And that's when they say like your light will trigger their demons. You can literally be of the light and just sit down next to someone, like at a party or a family event or some kind of, you know what I mean, something.
Yeah.
And they will like just, give you this, and it's like just for existing, just for
Yes.
existing and just sitting there because of their shadow, their unhealed whatever. And that's what I mean is I can literally look at people now, and I look at them through the lens of love, and I look at them like, you are so hurt, and I've been there, and like, oh, I want to hug you, and like, I don't care who you are, you could be, marrying my ex, like, I send you love, I send you more love.
Yes.
Oh my
Take all the love.
take all the love, but like people love, like, no matter who they are, and it doesn't matter what they've done. And me 10 years ago, I've always been that way because I am a Libra and I've always been very loving, but like I definitely you would have gotten a sword and I would have been, a little different, or right. And because I was in my karmic way or karma energy.
Yeah.
You can't fake the Empress energy. You can't fake the high frequency. This is something that literally you have to hit rock fucking bottom, be drugged through. You have to, it's bad, right?
It's so true. Like the dark night of the soul, like I literally, it's so interesting you say that, because when I look back, I'm like, oh, I feel my whole life I have been light. I have always had that. But the dark night of the soul was it's challenging for everybody, of course. But that was such a dark and challenging time in my life. Very confusing too, because I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. And when you come out of that muck and it's like I have a butterfly on right now. They're very important to me. That's like my grandmother's symbol. I feel like I am the butterfly now because, you're in the cocoon, you're going through what's going on in there, and then you emerge, and it's just beautiful. But I think you appreciate it more too after going through some darkness, because you're so grateful. You're like, I know how bad it can feel, and to be where I'm at now and to spread that love. Because what you're saying too about people just not liking you, I totally get that. And for not doing anything, I was like, if I was rude to you or if I disrespected you, I could understand you feeling some type of way. But for me just existing or being who I am, if that rubs you the wrong way, that's your stuff, not mine. And the Pisces moon in me is so sensitive. So sometimes I do have a hard time taking that when people just don't like me for no reason, just for being myself. But I have to just remember, I'm like, no, honey, you do you. You keep being great, and that's theirs.
Yeah, that's their I think I just posted it on my social like a few days ago or something, but it was something along the lines of like, the way people treat you is their karma. The way that you react is yours.
Yes. Ooh, write that down, listeners. That's a good quote.
Us time for the people in the back.
Yes.
So the way people treat you is their karma. And the way that you react is yours.
I love that. That's beautiful.
And honestly, that hit me hard too, because that's literally how I live. Like, you can do whatever to me, and I'm not gonna do it back. I'm not
No.
gonna. You're not gonna get a reaction, because that's what is being wanted, right? That's
Right? When I want to cry sometimes when someone's mean, I'm like, no, Kaylee, like they're not worth your tears. Like that's usually I get hurt. Like I'm like, oh, like but I love you. Like no.
yeah. But you know, when you're able to do that, when you're able to literally just be in a neutral space and literally just kind of sit back and send back that person that energy, love and forgiveness, even,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, that's healing that person.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
that's healing them. That's helping them, and that's sending out a vibration to the whole collective. And if we all could like just tap in that way a little more.
Right?
I mean,
Wouldn't this world be pretty awesome? Mm.
just the feeling around us and our environments and things like that, you know, it makes such a big difference. But anyways, that's what we're getting at. That's why the light workers are here.
Yeah, all the light workers. I love that. Did you
we're-
have any channeled messages for us? I saw you writing stuff and I was like, was anything happening while we were talking?
No, I was just writing down like what I wanted to go back to with the quantum healing, because that actually is kind of like a channeled message, the quantum healing thing, and that's why it kind of like was like bing, and very specifically what I get. And what I'll do is I'm gonna just like kind of tell you what I'm getting from this and how it's gonna like kind of connect with the collective, and then I will pull a couple cards on it and then kind of
Cool.
that. So with the quantum healing, you know, quantum healing is when we take quantum leaps and they help us heal on like higher scales, grander scales. And I'm sure that's not like the proper terminology. And please don't quote me on anything. I don't claim to be an astrologer. I don't claim to be a scientist or a physicist or a metaphysicist. I just know what I know, right? But at this time, you guys, they've been helping all of us literally heal from past karma and trauma on a very high grand scale. Okay. So what this means is that karma, like if you've been doing the work, you've been doing the shadow work, all the things, right? Most of you guys here watching this, it's a light energy. It's a beautiful energy. I can feel it. You are attracting really beautiful energy to your, um, but you guys are the ones here where basically, long story short, the universe is making shit happen, and it's on a grand scale and it's on a quicker scale. So what that means is like they've been healing you fast. They've been healing,
Yes.
so they've been healing you where, let's say you went through a horrendous breakup, and you a year or two ago, this breakup would have taken you 2 years to probably process and get over, right? No. The divine at this time is quantum healing you because you have work to do, and now is the time. So
yeah, you got work to do.
so they're helping you. They're helping you.
I love that.
So now you're over it in 5 to 6 months rather than 2 years, and now you're right, and your self-love and you're exuding that out. It's this whole thing, right? Because we're all interconnected, and so they're quantum healing. They're helping you guys heal. They've been helping you guys heal, and now with the quantum healing comes the quantum leaps, and the quantum leaps are really big right now with the universe and with spirit and the divine. What I'm receiving, and other people that channel, I believe, that I've talked to, they're receiving the same kind of information, where they're making things happen quickly. Right? So you've been planting seeds, and let's say you have some intentions and goals, and your podcast, let's take your podcast, for instance, right? You know, originally on another timeline when you were started planting the seed, this podcast was meant to grow to a certain point over a course of a few years, right? But now, due to circumstances, your healing, your quantum healing, what you've been through, things are starting to happen quickly. So a year, you're going to have X amount of subscribing as a
yes. I love that.
like with my channel, like and I can feel it. This is the quantum kind of the help that they're bringing forth. So with that, you guys, everything that is happening with these full moons, with all the cosmic energies, you know, you can, there's so much stuff on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all of that. And most of the time readers will do new moon, full moon readings and how to manifest and all this stuff. But you guys literally have so much like power to manifest whatever you want right now. Like whatever you want right now.
Magical time, guys.
and the biggest thing is to be in the feeling of it. To be in the feeling of it. What is it going to feel like when I have this? What is it going to feel like when this is taking place? What is it going to feel like? So literally being in the act as if of it, like the I am presence, act as if, all the things.
Writing that down. Keep going, girl. I just wrote down master manifester.
That's what I've been doing. I mean, that's literally how I try to manifest. And, you know, of course I get in my own way. I'm human. I you know, but when I'm focused, I can tap into the way where I'm literally seeing the things happening, the money flowing, the stuff coming through my bank account, the numbers changing, digits.
I love that.
Up, me receiving the notification of payments being received, like all of that. So you go through this whole process from start to finish, and it's like that with everything.
Absolutely. And like, I think too, when you feel in your soul that strong, like, I don't know why I have to do this, but I just know I have to follow that with everything you got and put everything into it. Cause that is like this podcast I've wanted to do literally for years, and just things, it just what, I don't know. I'm just, divine timing is everything. Right. And I truly believe it was meant to be now, not before. I wasn't ready before. I'm ready now.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more on that. Sorry. Now he's like,
hi, kitty. Hi, little baby. Oh my God, I love him. Look how fluffy he is. Anyone who's listening and not watching on YouTube, you should just go to the YouTube so you can see her cute little kitty. He's orange and he's perfect.
Yeah, boy. He's my little stinker, but he just got up there.
He's so fluffy. I love how fluffy he is. I didn't realize how fluffy he was.
He is. He's a pretty fluffy boy. I wanted a fluffy orange cat. That's another thing I manifested. I wanted a fluffy orange cat that was
my dog. Same. Manifested him.
See?
Because I knew, and I was like, he's going to be a Bernese Mountain Dog. His name's going to be Benson. I knew for like 8 years. I was like, and then it just worked out.
I love is it Burmese, like Bermese, Burmese?
It's Bernice with an N. Oh. It's like Bernese. A lot of people say Burmese, like you're saying. A lot of people say that, but it's Bernese, Bernice. Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I actually used to show dogs, and one of the breeds that, like, a breeder that I worked with, or like that we knew, was that breed, and one that was like huge, white, fluffy, like almost like an abominable snowman. Like I cannot think of what it was, like the dog from Little Mermaid.
I love that movie. I was Ariel as a child. I'm like, I am the mermaid. I totally know the dog you mean.
I can see major like Atlantis, like mermaid, like under the sea vibes with you for sure.
Under the sea. I got that song in my head now. I love that.
But sorry, go ahead.
Oh no. I was like, I was gonna say, do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to leave the collective with tonight?
Hold on one second. Let me let these puppies out because. Okay. So just real quick, going back to the whole manifesting thing.
Yeah, of course.
Like that's one thing that people ask about a lot is, like, they go, well, you know, you've done this in, you know, this amount of time, or you've grown this, and for me, I mean, I don't I see people growing very rapidly, like much faster than even what I'm growing at, you know. But I'm very happy with the rate I'm growing at. And now here's the thing is when I first started, that's the thing is you do what you guys do and what you're comfortable with as far as you're manifesting. I always knew that I was meant for something really big and I wanted to reach for the sun, the moon, and the stars, you know. But
I feel that, girl.
like I knew I was meant to help people and influence the masses and be seen and heard in some way. I just didn't know what that was going to look like, right?
Exactly.
But I knew it and I believed it. And, you know, as I started going through my awakening and all of that, you know, I really, I mean, I had really dark moments where I felt like there was never going to be a way out, ever, ever, ever. How could there be? What could possibly change in my life? I mean, I don't like what could change, right? We get in these routines and we feel stuck.
Yeah.
But where there's a will, there truly is a way. And I had faith. And when I started really surrendering and tapping into my archangels, my guides, my ancestors, my ascended masters, they started truly showing me more of these signs, and each sign was another little beacon of hope, and all these little signs started adding up to a lot of hope, right? And then all of a sudden things started shifting, and then all of a sudden I was no longer with that person, and then all of a sudden I was flourishing, and all of a sudden I was starting my channel, and all of a sudden now I'm here on a podcast.
Yes.
Right? So, and I know that so many of you guys can resonate with that. And with the manifesting, it's the same way. It's like, don't cut yourself short. Don't give yourself that glass ceiling, because
Preach.
it is infinite, and so are we. And what we're capable is infinite, and our power is infinite, literally infinite.
It's so true. Like anything, I've always said this, I'm like, anything you want, literally anything, you can have it. It's just often we are in our own way when it comes to that.
Yes. Yeah. So as of late, you know, I'm setting the bar very high, and you know, I'm manifesting things into my life that are going to change my life, my children's life, my children's children's life, my children's children's life, right?
Yes.
That is what I'm here to do, and while I'm doing it is to be a beacon of light to everyone else and the collective. And I mean, that's truly what I'm here to do, right?
Absolutely.
But anyways, I just want you guys to know that, like, anyone, you guys can literally do it. I mean, I know this, everyone says that and it sounds so cheesy, but it's the truth.
It is true. When you've manifested things into your life, no matter what it is, big or small, it's proof that it works.
And just to be clear, like, everything in all of your lives right now, you have manifested. So anything that's right in front of you at this very moment, the spouse you're with, the relationship you're in, your pets, your home, your clothes.
Just 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, just 1 sec. Can you hear me again?
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone was ringing. Sorry. Okay. Technology, people.
Okay. It's all stuff that you have manifested into your reality. So, you know, what you think about, you bring about. So once you decide to start, you know, making these changes, like, I'm going to start making small changes in my routine every day. I'm going to start making small goals. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start this project that I wanted to start. I'm going to start looking into this, and this, right? You get that ball rolling, you guys, and you guys, with the power that the universe is literally giving us right now at this moment, you guys can manifest anything you want into reality. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm like,
it's true though. And like, it's across the board. I've seen, like, everyone in your field is saying the same things. Like, they're all, it's a very powerful time, listeners, viewers.
It is potent energy. And I'm sure, much like readings, your podcasts are probably like a timeless energy. Yeah. Like, where whenever they find it is when they're meant to find it.
Absolutely.
You guys have the, for the collective right now, this is the Moonology Oracle. It's the new moon in Gemini. This is
Ooh.
This is think it through. So as we're talking about manifesting and setting intentions and knowing that you have the ability to create whatever you want and bring anything into your reality, Spirit is saying to think everything through right now. What do you want? Where do you see your life in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, right? And, I'm definitely not one of those people where I'm like, oh, where do you see yourself and blah, 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 and what are you going to be doing, but I am definitely planting seeds of the future right now.
I love that.
Focus on the positive, definitely. New moon in Sagittarius. This is all about passion. I feel that so many of you guys have been like really hung up on the stuff that you've been through in the recent past, and it's been very hard for you to see through to the future with any kind of silver lining or hopeful eyes, especially with the current climate of the globe and what's going on, right? So Spirit's coming through, and they want you to know that there is new beginnings coming in. We have 2 new beginnings right here, and they're literally saying stay focused on the positive. This is about that manifesting too. You manifest with positive, grateful energy, not fear, leave all that out of the equation, right? And then you have the first quarter moon in Pisces. It says honor your feelings at this time. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel mad. It's okay to want to scream. It's okay to want to dance. It's okay to want to just laugh and be happy and to want to live your best life, right? It's about honoring your feelings, letting them process, and transmuting them the best you can, right? Letting them go and knowing that the best is yet to come. All right, Spirit, let's get one more collective. Holy shit.
What is it?
It's another new moon, and it's in Aries. We literally just came in yesterday, and the new moon says, go for it.
There you hear it, people. Go for it.
Go for it, go for it, go for it. And then you have the release your blocks, Scorpio energy. So this is about transmuting energies that are keeping you guys stagnant. This could be thoughts, behaviors, thoughts about yourself. A big one, is our own, we could be our own worst enemy, right? We hold grudges, we hold on to things that don't serve us, and that's what this is. Release that. Let's get one starseed oracle before we go. For the collective, please. Thank you. You have star bathing. It literally says your light body. We've been talking all about our light body the whole time, right? Our higher self, our soul. Light body, your crystal grid, transmission, and activation. See, you guys are being activated big time at this time.
Wow. Oh, I love that. That's a pretty card too. If anybody's not watching, it's a really pretty card. Very pretty colors, got stars all over it. So
Yes.
cute.
It's like lavenders and mauves and stars, and it's a feminine energy who's literally being bathed in the crystalline light of the divine. Some of you guys might be called to work with crystal grids or have someone maybe create a crystal grid for abundance or manifesting, but you guys are being majorly activated and aligning with your higher selves. Big time, big time, big time. So anyways,
I love that. Thank you so much for a beautiful, throwing a reading in there too, guys. I'm saying, y'all are lucky that you're tuning in whenever you happen to be tuning into this podcast / YouTube video. Oh my God. Tell us too how we can connect with you, because I want everyone listening who feels called to know how they can get in touch.
Okay. So you guys can you can follow me on YouTube at Gypsy Cowgirl Tarot. You can subscribe. I do offer personal reading sessions and a multitude of different things. You can find everything under the description box, under any reading, and under my bio for my channel. You can follow me on Instagram at Gypsy Cowgirl Tarot and on TikTok at Gypsy Cowgirl Tarot. My TikTok is something I really need to start kind of paying more attention to. I just started it not that long ago, and it's kind of here and there. but my YouTube is all the time. That's my main bread and butter, my everything.
Yes.
And I would love to have any of you guys there. And I just thank you, Kaylee, for this beautiful experience. It was such an honor and a pleasure to be here with you and to be here with all of you guys. And I just love you, and I love what you're doing, and I love that you're bringing this to people because humanity needs it. People need it. We need it. And we are all just here walking each other home. So.
Thank you so much. No, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for, like I said, honoring us with your presence and sharing your beautiful divine gifts with us. Like it's very special. Anyone listening, it's very special what she's sharing with us, and she's very gifted. So it's nice that we've got to experience that, to feel your beautiful energy, to hear your beautiful voice, and also feel your vibes through your voice. That's your tool, how you heal and walk us home with your beautiful light work. And I just really, really thank you. And I'm sure they'll want you on again. So, if you're ever open again in the future, we would love to have you back to sip some tea with us and share your beautiful knowledge, because it's like we could talk for hours, as you guys can tell. So there's lots more we could touch on for sure. So thank you so much.
You're so
We're
welcome.
very grateful. No, of course. Well, that's what we have for today. We're going to call it tea time, guys. As Erica said, you can reach her. YouTube's her main gig, Gypsy Cowgirl Tarot, or her Instagram or TikTok. So make sure you check her out. Thank you again so much for tuning in with these two beautiful souls here right in front of you. And wishing you love and light as always. And can't wait to see you next time.
Bye, guys.